And the breaking news is that Michael van Gerwen is out, and there's a culprit, Christian Bunse, denying us a chance to see Cross and MVG go at it here in Wigan. But Michael van Gerwen's wait for a title in 2020 goes on, and if he doesn't pick one up tomorrow,
outside,
it will be the first time that he's not won a ranking title in the first 2 months of the year since 2011.
25, and that's Christian to throw first.
Crisis for MVG? Is there a crisis for the world number one? He did say that switching to the new darts, he would give 3 months just to
77.
bed them in. And let's have it right, his performances have not been rubbish by any standard. He averaged, in fact, 103 in the match that he's just lost against Christian Bunse, who took out 100 in the last leg and averaged
57.
10 points less than the Green Machine. But Bunse did the job and set up this last 16 meeting with Rob Cross, who is a man still in the hunt for his first title of the year. And it is a good list of victories, actually, for Christian Bunse, the German player, this afternoon. And Adam Hunt, and then Michael van Gerwen. He's been consistent in his performances, all of them
80.
around a 92 average. 265 wins after the first against Payne was 6-3. Cross has played at a much superior standard to that of his opponent. He beat Carl Wilkinson 6-2, Joe Mernon 6-0, and then eventually got over the line against Luke Humphries 6-4.
98.
In terms of the tournament, as I said, we are into the last 16. And
100.
this is the very top of the draw. The winner of this match will play either Dimitri van den Berg or Devon Peterson after their dance-off has reached its conclusion.
96.
I will return to the draw in a moment, but Bunse, he's eyeing up this first leg here. Wants the bullseye to do it.
Game shot.
Bunse beds the ball. And denies Cross a chance at the 170 that we saw Nathan Aspinall take out in the last match here. Quite remarkable end
140.
to his game. So also in this top half of the draw, Peter Wright is taking on Ryan Joyce in the last 16. That's because Joyce has beaten Gary Anderson. Ryan Joyce seeing off Gary Anderson 6-2 to book his place in the last 16, and it could have been Cross against van Gerwen and Anderson against Wright, but Joyce and Bunse have shown that you just can't always rely on the top players waltzing through. Vincent van der Voort, a very good win for him
95.
against Christoph Ratajski, set up a last 16 tie with Glenn Durrant. Steve Lennon is already in the quarterfinals. He's beaten Benito van der Pas 6-1 in the last 16. The winner of that faces Gabriel Clements or
92.
Nathan Aspinall, and then it's Gerwyn Price or Jamie Lewis in an all-Welsh affair, taking on the winner of the Ireland v Northern Ireland meeting between Willie O'Connor
56.
and Brendan Dolan. That brings you up to date with where we are in the tournament. Where are you putting your 50 pence? Tell us, hashtag PDC Pro Tour.
93.
Personally, I think it would be wise to keep it in your pocket, because no one knows
100.
the outcome of this tournament, and you would have been some kind of psychic to have predicted the outcome of the last 11 tournaments, all of them having different winners on the floor.
45.
The man in form is certainly Peter Wright, a tournament average for Snakebite after 3 matches
96.
of 110. Quite remarkable standard set by the world champion. As Rob Cross sets up a double attempt. Well, he took his time
66.
but he didn't take his chance. Bullseye. 19 or treble thereof. And now the same target that Cross
88.
couldn't hit hasn't been hit by Bunse either. Well, he's making hard work of this. Can you, Rob? Where's he going to? He's going to have to go and stand on stream 1, isn't he, to get a chance at throwing this in? This would be remarkable. This would be remarkable.
No score.
Yeah, no chance really, was there, Rob? You'd have had to come and ask the maintenance team to move the side wall of the booth there. Just go 2-2-2, Christian.
No score.
Right, this is what I reckon. 2-2-2. 2-2-2, Rob.
No
Well,
score.
they just don't listen, do they? They just do not listen. Well, he hasn't blocked it, at least.
No score.
Well, he decides to bust it. This is comedy darts between Cross and Bunse.
Game shot.
And in the end, Rob Cross perseveres with double 3 and pierces the target after multiple darts at it. We could all see what he thought of it. But in the end, it does level up the tie at 1 apiece. And it could come back to haunt Christian Bunse, because you have to take your chances against the world's best players, just as he did against MVG in the previous round.
99.
Glenn Durrant is in the quarterfinals. He will be on this stream next. He's seen off Vincent van der Voort 6-3 and will face
50.
either Peter Wright or Ryan Joyce. Peter Wright leads that match 5-3 and once again is averaging well over 100.
93.
Almost earlier today, Peter Wright almost broke his own live streamed record of 124.5. Ended up on 120 in that match. Another one there would leave 170.
139.
Does leave 170. Bunse will be on a finish himself, barring a disaster.
136.
Another there would leave the bull. Didn't need to see where the dart landed, just look at his face.
84. $46.
Treble 18, that is Rob Cross's forte. Can't find it with the first start, but does with a second. Another dodgy double. This could be fun.
79.
He's not comfortable, Rob Cross, at the moment. This is a bizarrely below par
Game shot.
performance, and Bunse this time does cash in. He's just won a match against the world number 1, averaging 103 at the moment.
100.
Rob Cross is averaging 77. I'm going to stick my neck out and guarantee that
60.
will have risen by the end of the match.
$30.
Would be some feat for Bunse to beat the world's number 1 and 4 in back-to-back
57.
matches.
96.
Cross just trying to gather himself, but it's at the end of legs where it's all got a bit sticky, isn't it?
96.
There may just be an opportunity here for Bunse if he can weigh in with a couple of trebles. So put the cross throw under threat.
58.
Hasn't managed to do that. The cross has to be careful here.
96.
The treble bailed him out of trouble. Bunse is going to be slightly better placed in this leg.
100.
But only slightly. $17 just
99.
to tee up the finish. Will he get a chance to finish? Needs to just land one on top of that dart. Is it in? It is in. Bullseye.
44.
Oh, it wasn't in. Was it in? Well, everyone here believed it was. If it wasn't, then Christian Bunse has just had a horrific attempt at the bull.
No score.
Speaking of horrific attempts, what is going on in this match? Well, Cross tried this in the last leg, double seven.
79.
Same outcome.
Game
That's
shot.
better, Rob. Clinical stuff from Rob Cross. Just wonder how Christian Bunse is feeling here, because Rob Cross is having a nightmare in this match. Yeah, it's two apiece. And the German must know that at some point Rob Cross is going to start
137.
hitting what he's going for much more often.
$140.
By the way, if you missed that match that I mentioned where Peter Wright averaged 120, it is available to watch on the PDC YouTube channel. Of course, wait until the end of the day. Or a breaking play.
140.
It won't take that long, to be fair.
$96.
$12 then. Misses the 12 and the treble, allowing Rob Cross an opportunity. Devon Peterson's march continues. He's beaten Dimitri Vandenberg 6-2 and booked his place in the quarterfinals. Treble 18. Treble 20.
92.
What's going on today? Remarkable
Game shot.
average has been fired in left, right and centre. And then Rob Cross, the world number 4, turns up on this stream and he's struggling to top 80 and finds himself 3-2 down.
140.
And another one of them has just been recorded by Peterson. I mentioned he's won Devon Peterson. Well, he averaged 105.2. There have been some absolutely incredible performances throughout this afternoon. Players firing in 105 plus averages left, right and centre and everywhere in between. Apart from here right now.
$93.
This'll do it, Rob.
135. 100.
Just the wrong side of the wire this time. The margins are becoming smaller.
135. 80.
And Rob Cross once again just looking to
Game shot.
level this match up. That's more like it, a 15 darter to tie it up at 3 apiece.
60.
Just a reminder that Christian Bunse knocked out Michael van Gerwen in the previous round.
130.
Following this match here, we'll have a quarter-final between Peter Wright and Glenn Durrant. Wright has got the job done against Ryan Joyce, 6-3. Durrant got the job done by the same scoreline against Vincent van der Voort. The other two men already through to the last 8, Devon Peterson and Steve Lennon. But it seems as if Voltage has plugged himself back in after a nightmarish start to this match.
95.
And let's face it, had he been playing someone else, perhaps the opponent that he could have played in Michael van Gerwen, it might have been over by now.
180.
But he piles in a maximum. No need to rub it in, graphics team.
140.
But Rob Cross, well, that's a happy accident in the end, isn't it? I mean, he'll still feel a little bit unsettled because he's been doing all sorts of stuff like this during this match.
Game shot.
Bunse watched on, eyes bulging out of his head. But he was hoping that Rob Cross would give him another opportunity, and now Voltage is ahead and starting to fire on all cylinders. And I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if he just popped in a 9 darter now.
140.
Darts, eh? Couldn't hit anything at the start of the match. And now Rob Cross is finding his range, finding a surge.
$140. 93. $57.
Another. Yes, double 10.
108.
Well, can Bunse pull a rabbit out of the hats?
$41.
He couldn't, so Cross now, for the first time in the match, has the opportunity to lead by a couple of legs, although that's a difficult dart to manoeuvre a way around. Not for the first time in the match, he'll be happier, and that's probably why we saw the nod of the head there from Rob Cross. He'll be happier to have a dart at a clear target, but he's missed it. Bamboozling stuff from the former world champion here. Bullseye to bamboozle him more.
74.
Well, this is probably wise from Rob Cross. We've seen him do this a number of times in his career. He's been struggling so much on the outer ring in this match that he just wants to take his time, get his concentration right, but that first start in the one is obscuring the target somewhat.
3.
And this has been a quite bizarre game of darts.
Game shot.
And it's a game of darts that could well go all the way. We now have a 5th name in the last 8 of today's tournament, and that is Gerwyn Price, who won the All-Welsh battle 6-3 against Jamie Lewis. Good run for Lewis today to the last 16.
140.
Cross has certainly solidified his scoring, that
44.
phase of his game, but it's the bit at the end that he's seemed to uncharacteristically struggle with.
134.
His opponent, I don't think it's unkind to say at times has been all over the place in both departments, but his doubling has been slightly better than that of
140.
Cross, and that's why we're tied up at 4 apiece. And now he's rattled in a 140 just to add a little bit of heat.
180.
Cross extinguishes the flames. He just wants a simple finish, doesn't he? He just wants to get this in.
99.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes here. It is 15 for double 16. I just did wonder if he might attempt to go to his go-to double
Game shot.
of 18 there, but that is exactly what he needed and just at the right time. No dramas this time, and now a simple 15 darter will do very nicely indeed. Doesn't want to go all the way. Speaking of going all the way, that's what's happened
100.
between Nathan Aspinall and Gabriel Clements. Aspinall saving his skin in the match that we had here against Mike DeDecker with a 170 checkout. Well, he hasn't managed to do so this time. 6-5 to Clements, who books his place in the quarterfinals. Will he be the only German player there, or can Christian Bunse turn this around? The winner of this match to take on Devon Peterson. It's Peter Wright against Glenn Durrant coming
140.
next on this stream. Then Steve Lennon is up against Gabriel Clements in the bottom half of the draw, and Gerwyn Price takes on either Brendan Dolan or Willie O'Connor.
93.
This is as solid a start as Bunse has made in any leg in this match. And what timing.
140.
What timing from the German youngster. It was left 1-2-1 after 9 darts against the darts. Forcing Cross
180.
to pile in a big one, which in turn forces Bunse to do or die. What's it to be?
80.
Wild miss from Rob Cross again. Shake of the head. He can't believe it. Dreadfully mutters to himself. It has been at times, Rob.
Game shot.
But it doesn't matter. The job is done in the end. An almost embarrassed handshake from Rob Cross there as he does the post-mortem with his opponent. He'll have to get back to the practice board and put things right in the quarter-final. But the important thing is that he's there. And you know, sometimes one bad game and then you play your best the rest of the day, and he's into the last 8, and we'll be back with a man who certainly is playing his best and has been all day. Peter Snakebite Wright is coming next against Glenn Durrant.